Nigerians, a very warm welcome to you from the world's capital city, London. This is Wake Up Nigeria. My name is Princess Kessie, and of course, we have quite a lot coming in from our national dailies today. Labour and the federal government, they are still there. We're still waiting, to hear what government is actually offering. And of course, this very beautiful Friday, we used to say, thank God it's Friday. Of course, after today, a lot of people go partying, resting, and all that. Of course, after a week of hard work, you need to give yourself some, rest and credit as well. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have quite a lot, like I said, and we'll be joining. I'll be hooking up to Abuja very soon. Mary is already seated this morning to dissect some of these very topical, national, interesting issues with me this morning. And of course, I'll be having a comrade happiness, a female comrade joining us today. I have a very disturbing news. I saw some and I was not very happy. Now, when you look at it, I'm hearing that at the IDP camp in a number of 2 months, we have a lot of people pregnant, young girls. This is not a good thing at all. And this will make our discussion today as well. And of Anyway, we hear also that our lawmakers, they are not, focusing energy in creating more states in the east. Is this what we need right now? I don't understand why they go to the Senate, they go to either the green or the red chamber, and this is what they discuss. So is it that we cannot discuss the economy? We cannot discuss, the naira that is actually depreciating on a daily basis. We can't discuss, wealth creation things, how for us to produce things, agriculture, insecurity. And then we are discussing creating more state. The last time it was national anthem. Today they are actually discussing how to create more states. Anyway, like I said, I have people that will be coming on the show to discuss this issue today. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll quickly bring Mary on now. How are you today, Mary?
I'm fine. Good morning. Good morning, Princess. That is London this morning.
London is in fact, I was literally sweating some minutes ago because I had to practically run all the way into the studio. I was trying so hard. You can see I was a little bit late. The traffic today, getting to the studio, the traffic this morning was even terrible. I actually used the bus instead of train, so that is what you get. And then, well, thank God we're here. How is Abuja today? What's happening? How is labor? How is strike and everything?
Okay, Labour they are yet to hear from the federal government, so we are still calm. Like what you said yesterday, that they're actually going to meet with the private sector. So I think they want to hear or see what the federal government is bringing to the table, what they actually want to pay to the workers before they could actually meet with the private sector. And also, there's also this news about the death of the custom officer that was actually found dead in his apartment in Abuja. But unfortunately, even after they said police should investigate the issue properly, because according to some of the custom officers, that the death of the man is a kind of sticky, like it needs thorough investigation because his family as well were actually saying that he shot himself. It's a rifle. So right now, he was actually rushed to, Kano Hospital, but that was when it was confirmed dead. So right now, we don't know if it was murder or if someone killed him. So the investigation is still going on as regards his case.
Wow, a sad one coming. I hope that the security as well we do the needful and we get to get to the bottom of that very story. Of course, but on your way to work today, how is the city like? We know that the federal government and Labour is still going back and forth, but are people fully resumed now back to work?
Yeah, people have really resumed back to work. Like everything is working well because as of that day that they actually started the strike, you see that a lot of fuel stations they were not selling. You see a lot of queues on the road, actually causing traffic and all of that. And everywhere was a kind of empty, no people, nobody going to work. But now everything has actually started working normally. There's lights, there's everything working right now. You see a lot of people going to work. So I think there's a lot of change since after the call of the strike.
Wow, there's a very disturbing news, Mary. Now, this is the IDP camp, and the news reaching us is that shock. Ooh, as Benue IDP camps record 200 babies in a month. How disturbing is this?
Oh my God. Like, I think I need to know what to say right now. I'm trying to kind of paint my words so that it will not be too raw. Because I feel like these people, they're actually suffering, right? They're passing through a lot. So how come they're thinking of making more babies to increase to whatever they are going through? This is actually not making any sense at all now. Like, how comes? Like, they're actually suffering for them, catering for them, and right now they are making more and more babies to be fed by who? By good people, for crying out loud. How are they doing this thing in the IDP camp? Oh my God. I said, I don't want to be too raw, big.
Like, I don't, of course, there's no gain in saying that Benue State is currently the hub of internally displaced persons, IDP camps. We have quite a number of them in Benue, thanks to, insecurity that our government is actually doing nothing to curb. But the fact that while in Abuja, I was always going to Area One IDP camp, Durumi there, and then most of them also are from Benue. The fact that these people they need the support of the society to get back on their feet. Some of them no place to go back to. Of course, their community homes have been turned to desert, no single building structure standing. And then that means they actually need the government, individual institution to actually come to their aid. But not having 200 babies in a month, I
That's
think
what
this is something that is too disturbing.
Me, I'm shocked though because there was when I was 7, we went to one IDP camp around the Kuchingoro. I think not too far from James Village. But I noticed it was just the female that were there, like the mothers. I didn't notice any male gender in the IDP camp. I was even asking my friend, now is it just the female that are suffering? What about their husbands? You could see kids, you could only see the women. I didn't see the men there. So that's why even looking at the picture you just displayed right now, you can see that it's just filled with women. So how do they not do it that they produce this kind of babies? Like so many babies, for crying out loud. It's too much. Too
It is
much.
very disturbing. It is very disturbing that in a month we will be seeing 200 babies in IDP camps. Normally, we cannot the IDP camp without the support of people. They are not able to feed the kids there. The younger ones, they are not able to go to school. And then we are not seeing this. This is too disturbing for my liking. As a woman, I just think this is something I need an analyst to speak on, just so maybe our government people will understand. We are this is not good at all. We have seen so far that these people are not being well fed. They don't even have roof over their heads. They are still in IDP camps, and then they are producing babies, 200 babies
But
in a
who
month.
come and
I
feed them?
think it's alarming. The government needs to do something about it.
Not even have
Government,
good They don't even have good place to lay their heads. They are not even feeding properly. And they're adding to that. So that's my problem. Sometimes you think people need help. By the end of the day, when you see their actions, you now notice that they don't need help. Because
yes,
even
that is the thing, Mary. How can people actually help them now? Because I'm trying to help you, and then you're bringing 200 babies in a month.
as if
Even
you're
me,
taking
I'm
advantage
telling you,
of their help.
I don't think even having one baby now, I need to rethink before I will have the baby because of course the economy. And then we are not seeing 200 babies in IDP camps in a month. Who is doing this to them?
Hmm. Oh my God. Like, even if I'm the one, I'll feel like they're actually taking advantage of my help. Because I noticed that if you go to IDP camp, they don't have good places to sleep. They manage to feed. A lot of people collect money, like some NGOs that they are helping them and all of that. But it's not everybody that actually come back and remit this money that they are collecting to use it and get a lot of things or food stuff for them for their well-being. So it looks as if you're actually struggling. Why not just struggle with the baby you already have? You are creating more and more babies to come and suffer. For who? It's really sad. This is not even a good news. It's a sad news because it looks as if it is happening at the wrong time and at the wrong place. Because even giving birth at the IDP camp is not even a good thing to talk about. Not to talk of giving birth to like 200 babies. Like they're actually producing babies. If they don't do anything, if they don't take action, it means more and more babies will be coming, and that is how the suffering will be increasing. That is it.
Anyway, in as much as we sympathize with people at IDP camps, and of course the situation of insecurity in most part of the country, this is not something I will welcome. This is not something I will want to, applaud. This is something that is disturbing, it's shameful as well, and I don't want to believe that even the men there, I don't know who is doing this to the youngest, to the women there, but I want to believe also that these IDP camps, they have people managing the camps. We need to get across to them. We need to ask the basic questions. Why are we seeing this, and why is this so at this point in time that the economy, it's actually has melted? Economy,
Yes.
everybody is crying. People cannot even afford tomatoes, gari, the normal basic food. People cannot even afford, ordinary bread, and then we're seeing 200 children in a month, 200 newborn babies in a month in an IDP camp. I
So
think that
if they don't take action, they'll continue to give more and more babies. Even people in Nigeria are complaining that because of this economy, they don't know what next. If this will not lead to crisis and all of that, because they cannot continue like this. We are saying food, the price of food is on the high side, right? It's expensive. It is not even stopping at this particular point. It is getting higher. It is increasing as the day goes by. I believe if this thing continues to get to a stage that people cannot take it, people cannot take. That's why you see people stealing in the market. I think there was a video of a woman that was actually caught. She stole just a tuber of yam, and they had to tie a rope on her neck and tie the yam on her chest. Then they walked her around the market. You can see that kind of disgrace. She stole a tuber of yam. There is hunger in the land. Not everybody can even provide the food. You understand? And it is getting higher more and more. And that is why I think some people are saying that if you go to the market, you see where they cut yam into two. They had to slice it, and since people cannot afford to get like a full tuber of yam, they have to split it for those that don't have, so that they will be able to buy. Maybe if this one come and buy half, another person come and buy half, just to see how people can survive. So it is actually hurtful. It's so annoying. And if this continues like this, I'm scared for even us in Nigeria, for we that reside here in Nigeria, because we don't know what the next action will be. So we're actually even saying that federal government should do something about it. It's not even about the minimum wage. That is not even what will bring solution to all this problem. It's how they can actually reduce the price of food. It is getting worse each day. And somebody is actually here telling me they're giving birth to babies as the month goes by. Not even people that can actually fend for themselves, not even people that are working. These are people that people take good care of them. People try to
Yes,
see,
that is
and
the
you're
disturbing
people
thing here,
protect.
Mary. The fact that it's actually people that we are fending for.
Yes,
It's not even people that can take care of themselves, because in IDP camp, what can you do? You can barely do anything. You can do mini trade, but is that really want you? Is that really worth it, or what you can use to feed 200 babies in a month? And so I think the management of the IDP should be questioned, not because, of course, you cannot say adults had to live their lives, but we know that I want to believe that in these 200 babies, some are from young girls, people that
yes,
actually are supposed to be focusing on their education. And so when we now have, these people littering the IDP camps with babies in a month, 200, I think that is something that we should actually look into critically. And thank God we'll be having a female comrade joining us today. This is one issue we want to look at and the way forward. And also we have our green chambers, the lawmakers are trying to create a bill that has came through first reading, how to create a new state in the east. Mary, you are from the east. How do you feel about this?
oh my god, I don't know, I don't feel good about it. I don't know the part of the east that they want to create new states, but already the one we have safe, we have not. How many people are even staying in the east? You can see that even those from the eastern region, they actually stay there. You see most of them in Lagos, you see most of them in the north. When you go to the north, you find out that a lot of Easterners are the ones doing business there. They are not even there to develop the little we have, to develop the east we have. That is why you come, you see some upstairs, 2, 3 story building, you see covered with bushes, because these people don't even visit that place. There are no job opportunities there. How many companies do you find there? and they're trying to create more states. To do what? Is it not when you are able to at least develop or establish the one you have, that is when you create more states? Because I really don't know if maybe the more state they want to create is from the Enugu state or from Anambra or from Imo or from Abia or from Ebonyi. I really don't know what where they want to draft out that state from. But I feel like East should do better by developing the East and making it a place that is conducive. You can see Enugu is very expensive. Yeah, I don't even know Enugu and Abuja which one is even better when it comes to renting of apartments. Very expensive. Then how many job creation do you have in Enugu? How many of them even go to the farm? Anambra will tell you that they don't farm. Anambra said they don't farm. They just so it's not funny. So to me, creating of more states in the east will not actually be a good idea because they need to even work on the one they have first before creating new states. That's my take on it.
We could go on, but when we have a comrade join us, these are some of the issues that we'll be looking at. And of course, the minimum wage, as we expect, our federal government offer, and of course, the labor reaction to whatever they will offer at the end of the day. We know that I saw a news yesterday, but it's not very. I don't want to believe that federal government will be offering 105 naira or 110. I don't think that is fair. But anyway, we wait for the official statements of the government to see how much they are bringing to the table and how the labor, organized labor, of course, we react to that. If that would be the way forward, or once again they are going to keep us, keep the country in that, crawling state again. We have quite a lot coming in from the newspapers this morning, and so we'll quickly go to some of the papers we have this morning.
Okay, I think we start with the punch. And the big story on the punch, we have a $3.3 billion loan for crude. Federal government gets $925 million lifeline as Naira trades 1,481 Naira per dollar. Afrexim Bank disburses additional $925 million under $3.3 billion loan for NNPC. And you can find that story on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. And here we have a story that says national grid shutdown, treasonable. And this coming from SGF. And that story is on page 26 of the Punch newspaper. Here we have a story that says reps dump 740 billion naira misused natural resources fund report. And that story is on page 27 of the Punch newspaper. Article demands probe. Article demands probe as federal government denies first subsidy payments. And you can find that story on page 14 of the Punch newspaper. And here there's a story that says NGE SAN slams police over journalists' unlawful detention. And that story is on page 7 of the Punch newspaper. And here we have another story that says motorists grown as flood overruns Lagos Ibadan Expressway Bridge and others. And you can find that story on page 5 of the Punch newspaper. And there's a story that says presidency denies 105,000 pay as Labour awaits Tinubu's offer. And that story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. 400 pilgrims nabbed with 2.2 kilogram cocaine in Lagos hotel. And that story is on page 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper. There's a British bank. Shareholders push for MD ED stroke. And that page 25 of the Punch newspaper. These are all the stories we have in the Punch.
The punch, quite a lot coming from the punch this morning. And in as much as naira issue, I don't want to speak on it because we know that the government has, like I said earlier, when we have issues like this to be discussing, national burning issue, you see the rate of the naira now. That is something that we have been struggling with for a very long time. And then, comrade, you're welcome. But you have to unmute your sound. And then we see that we've been struggling with the naira rate back and forth. And then we still have issues of, debt. We're owing so much. And then the lawmakers will sit down in their green chambers trying to pass bills that are of no use to us at the moment. You know, bringing bringing uh, bringing new states to the east is what they discuss. It took them time, as at the time we should be looking at, the effectiveness of the government during the a period of 1 year they've been in office. We've seen that it was the national, of course, national item that was a major issue to these people. And of course, we saw also that, I feel like these people, they don't really understand the pains the people are going through. They do not understand, what we're going through. And we'll continue to owe more debt if nothing is done. A country that is not producing, but of course, all we do is to consume.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a story here that say national grid shut down treasonable. This is coming from SGF. I don't understand what this man is saying, or what that office is saying. It is labor. It has nothing to do with, when labor said they were shutting down the country, and they meant it like every word
But they
they could.
announced it now. They did not take anybody unaware. They said that this is what will happen. You understand? They said that this and these are what they're going to do. I think they actually had to disconnect one water that was running into one of the minister's house. Although we had water in our place, but in some areas there was no water. Then the blackout was like a total blackout in everywhere. But it's not like something that they didn't notify people. They told people about it. Yeah. So I really don't know why that story is coming up right now.
Anyway, there's a story here that say reps dump 740 billion naira misused natural resources fund reports. They dump these reports and they are jumping into how to create new state. Oh wow, let's clap for our reps. They are doing very well.
Maybe they feel like nobody can probe them now. Nobody can actually investigate whatever they are doing. Because I feel like you need to finish one particular thing before jumping into another one. They have a lot of things that you need to do because you can look at the kind of amounts. You cannot dump, you understand, 740 billion. Although me, I don't know, but most time when I see this amount that they call, it looks as if maybe it's just a frame up amount. Because if this thing is truly the kind of amount that these people
And
are
that's
talking,
because Mary is not a frame up. It's not frame up. Do you even know how much we have as a people, as a country?
because
Do
when you
you
want me to
know how much? Do you
they
know how
act
much
like
we
this
have?
is one
The
naira.
thing is that no, this money they've shared among themselves. And that
Oh,
is why anytime you see they don't want to take serious any issue, a report that have been swept under the carpet means that there is a hand of a monkey, not rather a hand of a human being in the soup, not the hand of a monkey.
House of Rep always want to probe. Like when the minister of road, I think we're working on the Calabar Lagos Coastal Highway. They actually want to probe that project. So who will not probe the House of Rep? Is it that they don't have
They are the
anybody?
lawmakers. They feel like they are above the law.
Because if they can actually probe other projects that is being done by people, right? Then somebody should be able to stand up and also investigate whatever they do there. Because that is where the corruption starts. If nobody can checkmate whatever you do, it means a lot of corruption will continue to loom into that place because nobody can actually come out and say this is what they do. That's why I say when I see this amount, I feel like maybe it's a frame up amount because this kind of money, you understand, is what these people will squander, and we have a president, we have the Senate, and they cannot even say or do anything. It's not making any sense at all now. It's so annoying. Honestly, it is.
Anyway, there's a story here that says motorists growing as flood overruns Lagos Ibadan Express Bridge orders. And now, when you look at the news since yesterday, we've been seeing flooded areas of Lagos. A lot of places in Lagos are becoming flooded by the day, and I don't know how people are supposed to cope. I think the flooding this year in Lagos will be very serious because we saw, flooding quite early.
But the thing is, when it comes to Lagos, will their flood ever stop? That is if they
No,
actually,
normally there are states that are prone to flooding.
because I really don't know if maybe they're not doing the needful. It is
It's
just
not
like
about the needful. There are some states, for instance, For instance, we have Bayelsa State or Delta that are the riverine that are close to the river could overflow. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And then because you're close to the river, and don't forget also that there's a lagoon in Lagos, is a waterine area as well. We have big river around Lagos as well. And so these are some of the factors. It's not like maybe they are not doing all they need to do. But also, we only call on the appropriate authorities and individuals to make sure that there is water passage. This will help also to curb the floodings.
These are
If
people
you are,
they can
yes,
afford
and
it from the bunch.
I'm thinking that Lagos this year, will be very massive because it's quite early. The flooding issue in Lagos came quite early, and I don't know how the
Yeah.
people will actually cope.
This year the rain just started though, and look at now people will go to work like this and still come back. Oh
It's
my
not
god.
possible. It's not possible. How can people even go to work like this? It is
But
not possible.
that's it. I mean, maybe because I grew up in the north though, but you see anything water like this, I don't know, like I feel somehow, but
You can see on the picture cover here that the water is almost at their waist level.
yes,
And this is very disturbing. I don't know how people are supposed to. Let's talk about the health issues that will come with this as well.
exactly.
And it's very disturbing. So I think people should, when you know you're living close to where it's prone to floodings, find a way to move on time. And government also, let there be a way. We will always tell people the drainage system need to be cleared, everywhere needs to be okay, so when the water even comes, at least it will be flowing. Do you
Yes.
understand? Not being stagnant somewhere. These are the issues.
But you
And
know,
then
most of that drainage is not cleared. Even I know that yes, maybe they are prone to flooding. But if you enter Lagos, you see that most of their drainage is not clear. You see a lot of dirty heap on it, like they heap a lot of dirty on it.
these are
And
some of the issues, and this can actually cause lead to major floodings. There's a story here that says Heritage Bank shareholders push for MD
this is a
ED's
story.
probe. And
This is a very
I saw Messi Ike saying she's having over 100 million in that Heritage Bank. And we know that CBN also said they are going to make transfer of begin with 5 million naira downwards. And so we said it the other day, people that have 20 million, 100 million, what are they supposed to do?
That is it. So it's just because Messieke came out to talk because she's a celebrity. I believe there are people that have amount that is beyond hers that we've not heard about, and they're starting with 5 million naira. Then I pity people that their money is not even up to a million in that bank. Like I see them losing out because what I really don't understand is I know that maybe CBN actually had to revoke their license, but even before then, I felt like they were supposed to inform their customer to come get the money, except maybe just as they said that the MDs need to be prob, except they've actually a kind of siphoned people's money. Because why is it difficult? The money that was kept in a bank, so why is it difficult to give the money back to the people? It's their account, right?
And
So why
that
not?
is because the bank also trades with your money. That is how you get your interest, the very little interest at the end of every month, because they trade with your money as well.
I don't know, but they are supposed to be able to give them their money because it's going right now. It looks like a lot of people will lose out from this. Like they will lose their money because they're not helping out at all. They're not helping out in it. Yeah,
Anyway, there's a story here that say presidency denies 105 naira, 105,000
5,000.
pay as Labour awaits Tinubu's offer. I'm happy that they've denied because I don't want to hear it with my ESF. And there's a story here that say NGE, of course, Sans slam police over journalists on lawful detention. Gagging the press will not cover the truth either. So leave the press to do
What they,
what they're supposed to do, what they ought to do. You can't gag the press.
the press is not the problem
Freedom.
of the issue. The press is not their problem. So they should stop
They have
shifting
so many problems to deal on. So bringing the press, I think that is the least of their problems
of their
right now.
problems. It's just like a
Anyway,
disparity.
we move over quickly to the next paper we have, and that will be Mary.
Okay, let's take the Vanguard. I think the big story on the Vanguard says minimum wage talk. Labour gets restive as federal government plays waiting game. Labour committed treason by shutting down national grid. This is coming from SGA. No cause for alarm. Edun, Pagudu. A technical committee to be set up on other things. And this coming from the ministers. And that story is on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. Okay, I think there's a story here that says, please detain another journalist, Precious Eze, over report on Lagos based Bisman. And that story is on page 6 of the Vanguard newspaper. Here we have a story that says presidency to Atiku. Um, 5.4 trillion naira fuel subsidy provision in 2024. Tinubu through fuel subsidy diverting public funds using secret payments. This coming from article, and that story is on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. And here we have a story that says Rivers Ijo to INC. Wike gave more federal appointments to Ijos, and that story is on page 12 of the Vanguard newspaper. And here we have a story that says CBN will implement bold reforms that makes economy work. And it's coming from Cardoso. And that story is on page 4 of the Vanguard newspaper. And we have another story that says reps move to create new state in Southeast as bill passes first reading. And that story is on page 11 of the Vanguard newspaper. Terrorism review strategies of security agencies. Senate tells Tinubu, and that story is on page 2 of the Vanguard newspaper. Okay, World Cup qualifier. Finidi unleashes Ihanacho, Lukman Boniface on Bafana. And that story is on page 28 of the Vanguard newspaper. I think these are all the stories you have this morning on the Vanguard.
Hmm. This story is just making me laugh. Labour gets restive as FG plays waiting game. Or waiting for FG. What are they going to say now? What are they bringing on board? Or what are they going to do this time? Okay, we'll keep waiting. We'll keep.
Yes, I think they're supposed to give us the report today now. It's supposed to be today. Let's know whatever their conclusion is. I think Labour give them 5 days.
Federal government can still keep you waiting and feel like they are the government. They'll tell you they were trying to look at what will favor the people more. Anyway, there's a story here also that says review strategies of security agencies. Senate tells Tinubu. We should be talking more of their way of tackling insecurity in the country. That is what we want to hear as we sit here on daily basis, because the rate of killings, insecurity, it's too much. And then there's a story here as well. Don't forget that in Punch, I think in Punch we saw Atiku actually battling. Yes, I saw Atiku's story. Atiku demands probe as
I
federal
think it's
government.
actually coming out to talk now. That's good.
Yes, it's
That's
very good. We need somebody that will be hitting on the government, and because I saw this story on Punch, that's why I actually remember the one Vanguard. I remember the one where one of the headline here we have in Punch that says article demands probe as federal government denies fuel subsidy payments. And now when you come to the Vanguard newspaper, you will see that story here. Presidency now replying article says no 5.4 trillion naira fuel subsidy provision in 2024. Because a lot of people we've been saying that what did the government do with the subsidy money? If you're saying we can no longer use this money for subsidy, that means there is actually money. The money is being used for something else. That is what I don't think only Atiku has made that call. A lot of people also have made that call. Even me have made that call as well. And so, but it's good to know that when you have people not just wanting to hold on to power to get into power, but checkmate the activities of the government. And this is what we want OB as well to be doing, giving them back to back, putting them on heat. This will make them to do what they are supposed to do.
even though we know that they're just talking, it doesn't mean that if they're there, they will do more or they will do better. You never can tell. This is politics. You know when you
You
are
see,
not.
let me tell you, don't forget that yesterday that Chris said something. During the time of Saki, the time of Goodluck Jonathan, where we had, the executive arm was, PDP or so. Even during Buhari's, I think during Buhari's first tenure, we saw Saraki there as well. And even the good thing is that we're supposed to have the lawmakers, if you're talking about the number three man, the president of the Senate is supposed to be an opposition. This is where you see a working nation, because they
Yeah.
will have the right to question the president, they will have the right to checkmate. But now, when we have the likes of Abio, that is the right hand man to Tinubu on the Senate, who will not question them? You ask it this morning, who will probe them? Who will ask them? Right? But if this were to be opposition, you see that there will be a heat always, back and forth tantrum, and this is where economic government grow. This is where the country will grow, because they will keep exposing themselves, fighting, and therefore everybody will want to always do the right thing, because if you don't do the right thing, you will be called out. And so I think Atiku and Obi should do more of this, calling out the government and pointing fingers. That is what we want in a positive light.
Yes.
Yes, and we move quickly now. We've seen the stories before, and so we move quickly to the next newspaper we have.
Okay, and that would be the Daily Trust. The story on the Daily Trust, the big story says bandits kill 7 policemen, 35 others in Zamfara State and Katsina. And the writer says review security strategy. Senate tells Tinubu Tambuwar calls for state of emergency. And that story is on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And here we have another story that says MTN Nigeria chief marketing officers quits. And that story is on page 6 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Private sector demands concession as Labour awaits federal government offer. And that story is also on page 6 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And here we have another story that says over 9,000 terrorists killed, 9,562 fighters surrendered in 1 year. And this is coming from military. And that story is on page 38 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Federal government insists subsidy gone. Article alleges lack of transparency. And that story is on page 38 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And we have another story that says 318 billion naira waivers concession affected our revenue. And this is coming from Custom. And you can find that story on page 23 of the Daily Trust newspaper. I think these are all the stories you have this morning on the Daily Trust. And you can see a picture of the security and their van, their vehicle in all those places that the bandits are actually invaded. Okay, these are the stories on the Daily Trust this morning.
And so when we have things like this disturbing us as a nation, we now have Senate talking about creation of state, creating more state, and of course we now have, police arresting journalists. This is what we're saying. I think
Yeah.
they should put their energy somewhere. They should, channel that all energy, anger to insecurity. Just maybe they will get the much needed results we're looking for. And also, there's a story here, the this is coming from the army, that says over 9,000 terrorists killed, 9,562 fighters surrendered in 1 year. Now that is coming from the military. And what of the people that were killed are, innocent people as well, that were killed, kidnapped. I think
I don't
when
know
you're bringing this analysis, this kind of data, they should also include that people were killed, innocent people were kidnapped, ransom not paid, and they were killed.
what
you
about
know
the ones that they actually say, okay, come and keep the money so please. You come, you bring the money, they will tell you, okay, this is the person you came to pick. When you go there, the person is already dead. So the wickedness is on another level. It's not even about the ransom. Most people pay the ransom and they lose their loved ones. So to me, I don't even believe that data, because at least not like I've seen, like I know like two people that fought the victim of this bandit and all of that, and they didn't make it. Sometimes I don't know why. they call for this ransom. Even if you try to bring the money, they collect the money. You only be lucky to see that they spare the life of that person you actually want to save. So at the end of the day, I feel like their main aim and objective is just to kill those people and collect their money. So it's not like we have a deal and let's actually keep to the deal. They cheat you, they collect your money, and they still kill your loved one. So it's that annoying. So if they're coming up with this number, this data, I don't believe it. I feel like it's just what they want us to hear, what they want us to feel like. Because to me, as security agencies are not working. They are not working at all. They are not working. It's as if maybe the gadget they have is not let me say it cannot qualify compared to what these people have, because it looks like they cannot stand them, they cannot fight them, because a lot has been happening even in broad daylight. You're traveling, you are not safe, not to talk of in the night. So to me, I really don't know, but it's that sad.
Anyway, there's a story here that says private sectors demands consensus as labor awaits FG's offer. And we've said it before. I really want labor, to consider the private sector. Labor also should be the mouthpiece of the private sector, the workers there, because we know that if labor try, for instance, we're saying 450, can private sector even meet up to that? Anyway, you find a way to meet up if that is the new minimum wage. Or I don't know how they are going to do, but I know also that the labor is meeting with the private sector to see how best they can marry the two, balance the two as well. Even though we were with federal government, we urge labor as well, to put energy in bringing, carrying the private sector along, because they feel though as if they have no one to speak for them. And we know that these are workers as well. The same stress the government workers are going through is the same stress the private workers are going through, especially when we talk about the economy right now. The rate of foodstuff, the hike in price of basically food. We're not even talking about other things, like wares or clothes or anything. We're talking about food, to stay alive. It's quite expensive now. And of course we've not added medications. We've not added the rents that landlords are now going gaga, in Abuja and Lagos. At a time like this, you see landlords increasing rent. And so I think government should look into it, and look at labor, or look at the private sector as well. Labor also should look at the private sector. That also, we actually help the people working at the private, because this one now, I don't want to believe that labor is just speaking for government workers alone. That one, it will be somehow Mary.
Somehow they need to speak on to the private as well. They need to consider the private as well. Like it's very important. Because if it's just the government, then to me no change is being made. It's still the same thing. Because we have a lot of private sectors that are underpaying their staffs. So you need to look into it as well.
Anyways, viewers, this is Wake Up Nigeria. You see, we have quite a lot on our dailies. Is a pack full papers this morning. We'll go on a quick break. Do not touch that dial. We'll go on a quick break, and now when we return, we'll continue with our reviews. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. We'll be right back after the break.
Looking for a home away from home in Abuja? Look no further than SRTV Shortlet Apartments. Our fully furnished apartments offers everything you need for a comfortable and relaxing stay. Unwind in spacious rooms with exquisite ambience. Cook delicious meals in our well-equipped kitchen and relax in our comfortable sitting rooms watching your favorite shows. And guess what? 247 Wi-Fi available. But that's not all. SRTV goes extra mile by providing a car to take you around town during your stay. No need to worry about navigating public transportation or hailing taxis. Explore Abuja at your own pace. Book your SRTV Shortlet apartment today and experience the perfect blend of comfort and convenience. You can reach us by calling this number 070-6237-9915 or 080-7082-7. Ooh la la! The second edition of the Nigerian Week London 2024 is here.
It's another blend of arts and culture, entertainment, business, and networking activities.
A week-long extravaganza showcasing the best of Nigerian music, dance, craft, fashion, and businesses.
Taking place at the prestigious Lighthouse Theatre, 262 274 Camberwell Road, London, SE5 OAY. Date 22nd to 28 July 2024.
Tickets are available at everbright.com. For partnership and sponsorship, please visit superiorradioandtelevision.com
or call +4407 459 513 619 or +4420 3623 8755.
Email info@superiorradioandtelevision.com or visit our website www.superiorradioandtelevision.com/Nigerian Week 2024.
Come and experience a nation's culture that resides in the heart and in the soul of its people.
Hello, viewers. You're welcome back from that quick break. This is Wake Up Nigeria. Of course, we have been reviewing the papers. We have quite a lot as well coming, and we're expecting a comrade to join us this morning. There's a very disturbing news, a very disturbing story of how young women are littering the IDP camps in Benue State with children. Having 200 babies in a month. That is quite alarming, and that will be our discussion later today. Let's move on quickly now, Mary, to the next newspaper we have.
And that will be the Tribune. And the big story on the Tribune says alleged 5.4 trillion naira for subsidy allocation. Article PDP tackles Tinubu. And here the writer said there is no 5.4 trillion naira provision for subsidy in 2024. Presidency clarifies. This owns leaked document on fiscal policy proposal. And that story is on page 2 and 3 of the Nigerian Tribune. And here we have a story that says 27th convocation, Sanwo-Olu gives LASU best graduating student 10 million naira. And that story is on page 28 of the Tribune. NAS wants investigation into the death of 30 minors in Niger. That story is on page 3 of the Tribune. PDP to IGP. Arex ex Adamawa Rec. Yunusa Ari now. The writer says a trial delay creating bad precedents. And that story is on page 30 of the Tribune. So Inca converses politics hinge on ethic, truth, justice. And that story is on page 30 of the Tribune. Labour Party makes use on obedient directorate. And that's on page 4 of the Tribune newspaper. Hajj 2024, NDLEA arrest intended pilgrims with cocaine consignment in Lagos. And that story is on page 11 of the Tribune. Motorist residents express concern as flood takes over Lagos Ibadan Highway, Long Bridge. And that's on page 30. Arafat Day is June 15. Eid Kabir, June 16. And that story is on page 3 of the Tribune. 52% of banks assessed, 79% of rated insurance companies do not have sustainability report. This is coming from survey, and that story is on page 6 of the Tribune. And we have a story that says a new minimum wage. Tinubu receives cost implication from negotiation team as committee resumes meeting. And that story is on page 2 of the Tribune. And these are all the stories you have this morning on the Tribune.
First, Mary. What do you feel about 27th convocation? So Wolu gives last suits best graduating student 10 million.
To me, it's a nice one. It's actually a good news because this just like I believe to become a best graduating student is actually not something easy. So it looks like it's encouragement. It tends to encourage this person. Other people will want to do more to emerge this kind of position next time. So it's actually a good thing to do. That's what I have to say.
Now, would you prefer, Mary, a best graduating student, one person giving this kind of money, or you would prefer and enabling environments where top graduates are, are given opportunity immediately to get automatic jobs.
Yeah, I think where top graduates are given the opportunity to get jobs would have been the best. You get, but because this kind of amount given to just one person, I wanted to talk about giving just one person this 10 billion naira is a whole lot. But you just know that this one you have actually helped this person to actually a kind of look into something that he can actually do with his life after graduating. But what about
Now,
other
this
students?
kind of people, a
Yes,
best graduating student must be best in a particular field.
yes.
Do they actually need money to go start a trade, or they are supposed to give in automatic employment? That is where I'm worried.
So it depends. Will the person even use the money well? That what if the person does not utilize the money well? Because I feel like Lagos State government must have a lot of opportunities to actually give this person and actually put him in a better position. But instead of them to even neglect it at all, giving him the money is actually a good thing. But I feel like the money is too much for just one person. Instead, why not create opportunities for other people? Because you cannot have just one best graduating student. There are other people as well from other departments as well that
Apparently, is the top best that in the whole school is the best, and
yeah.
that is why he's giving that amount, which I feel is well deserved.
Yes,
Nothing good comes easy. Being the best in your class, you have to sweat. Let alone in the whole school. We know what that means. We have been through the system and we know what that means. And so also congratulations to this person. But the government also should, why I'm worried is that we have other, from each department as well, we have best graduating students. So there should be an enabling environment, they should be giving automatic employment immediately, to get jobs, not just one person. And
yes.
that is my worry. Not like I have issues with the money anyway, but I just feel, appreciating all the best of all the best from each department or faculties will actually be a way to go.
Yeah, sure. That's true. Because it's not like giving him the money is bad, just like I said. It's actually a good thing to do. But what if he doesn't know how to invest it properly? So if there are being a better opportunity to actually give him a better job, I think it would have actually be also a good thing to do. So
Anyway, there's a very disturbing story here that says NAS wants investigation into the death of 13 miners in Niger. We already know that, these people, went there illegally. And we said it yesterday as well that federal government should look for a way to curb the issue of illegal mining. The state government should start, every state should start harnessing what they have, natural resources they have, just maybe they will do it the right way. We won't have people trying to go and steal, trying to go and do illegal stuff, now leading to their death. A lot of them are still trapped there as of today. And then we actually want the government to do what they are supposed to do so that things like this will not happen in the future. And also, we know that the new minimum wage Tinubu receives cost implication from negotiation team. We can't wait as the committee resume meetings today. Like we said before, we're going to see how that will play out, how that will turn out. But we just really do hope that whatever decision of the federal government is will be for the benefits and of course the interest of
it's
the workers.
about this minimum wage. There was something I saw yesterday online. George Akume say I can't afford to pay my four drivers 100K per month.
I was going to bring that issue. How did I forget?
Secondly to the government of Federation, somebody said so you can actually afford four cars. So if you can afford four cars and four drivers, so how would you say you will not be able to afford to pay them 100K per month?
That
That is
that
for
man
wicked.
is
How does
shameless.
he be paying them for crying out loud? For him to be complaining like this, people
That
eh?
man is shameless. The fact that you even have four drivers, and the fact that as at your level for you to have four drivers, that means you'll be able to pay them. And if you cannot pay them, let them go. Don't enslave people. I saw the comments yesterday. The bashing for you. Of course, you trust Nigerians who don't take such statements
As in eh,
very, very likely.
it looks like
And of course, people were telling him, "What do you even need four drivers for?
four
This is
drivers.
how they waste the resources of the government." only you four drivers. That means you should apparently is having 8 or 10 cars already. And now
That's
you're
it.
telling us you cannot pay. Your guy, you will pay. That is what we the people were telling him. Yeah, you
Someone
will
asking
pay
now,
by
that
force.
100K is nothing to you. That is to show the height of wickedness of these our leaders. What is 100K compared to the millions of naira that they squander? Eh? You can imagine how much he used in buying any of those cars. There's no any of his car that will even be a car of small amount. There will be a lot of expensive cars from his end, and now you can't even pay them. So it means he has been underpaying his staffs. Like I felt like he's supposed to be ashamed of this. Coming out to say this publicly is really shameful, honestly. Hmm. It is.
Anyway, there's a story here as well that says hash 2024. NDLEA arrests intending pilgrims with cocaine consignments in Lagos. This is shameful.
It is. It is.
And now I want people to know that you do not drag, if you're going on a pilgrim, you are not so it's supposed to it's meant to be a holy something, godly something or religious something, right, Mary?
I don't know the same people that are saying pray for the country, pray for Nigeria, pray for peace, pray for a stable system, pray for this one. When they were going, they were telling them a lot of
And
things
now
that they
these are the same people that the government has spent
yeah,
money. The government
if
has spent
they
money to sponsor abroad, to sponsor their trips abroad on pilgrim, going on Hajj or whatever. And at the end of the day, this
this is
is
the
what
outcome.
this is what they do. They should not go there and disgrace us. We have so much on the plate already. We have so much on our hands already. Going to, Saudi or wherever, Mecca, to disgrace us is what we don't want. I'm very happy that they were actually caught in Nigeria, so they won't have to go there and disgrace our name there. And so, kudos to NDLEA. We move quickly now to the next stories we have from other papers.
Okay, I think the next one we have is the Daily Times, and the big story on the Daily Times talk about come clean of shady five point
I
four.
don't have that story here. Can we take the Guardian, please?
You don't have the Daily Times. You
We
check.
don't
I
have it
sent.
on the screen.
Okay, the Guardian. The big story on the Guardian is poverty amidst plenty, growing nations of destitute as homeless kid invade Abuja southwest, and that's the reason page 4 and 5 of the Guardian newspaper. And here we have a story that says Tinubu government under pressure to refute continuance of gun first subsidy, and that's on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Despite losing 308 billion naira to waivers, customs earned 1.34 trillion in 3 months, and that's on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. No respite for investors as rising costs shrinks FMCG firms' earnings, and that's on page 15 of the Guardian newspaper. Senators seek contract appointments for service chiefs and others, and that story is on page 30 of the Guardian newspaper. Tougher decision ahead to reshape economic, says the federal government, and that story is on page 3. Troops foil oil theft worth 91 billion naira destroy 3,051 dugout pits in 1 year, and that story is on page 30 of the Guardian newspaper. Again, federal government fails to agree with Labour on new minimum wage, and that story is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. And these are all the stories you have this morning on the Guardian.
Hmm. Anyway, there's a story here that is really alarming. A story here that the government, we keep praying that someday, we keep hoping. I don't want to use the word prayer. The main story here is disturbing as well. That says poverty amid plenty, growing nation of destitute as homeless kids invade Abuja Southwest. We know that you can see the cartoon there, the picture image there. We
Yeah,
have a lot of them in Abuja.
begging.
Sometimes when you're traveling as well, you see them bringing young people, boys in trailers, joining cows,
To sleep
coming.
where? To come and dump them to sleep where would they sleep? And that
And
is
that
why when
is
you go.
and that is why you see them roaming around the Buja, Mary.
Oh my god. So
They
what
roam
kind of
around the city, they go about begging, they go around picking
no
things,
morals? No morals because nobody to even train them. It's really sad, honestly. And that's why when you go to the restaurant, you see any remnants, they are ready to pack it up. Any remnants, they just collect. Like, is that bad? I don't know. And these people continue to give birth. They continue to give birth more and more.
And this is what we're saying when we have issues, disturbing news like this, and then we have in IDP women giving birth to 200 babies in 1 month. So how can we not see things like this, Mary? Of course,
Honestly,
we'll continue to see things like this. It's disturbing. These are young people that are supposed to be in school, that are supposed to be in their parents' home, now in the street. There could be
roaming
anything
around.
tomorrow, and they could be used for anything tomorrow. Somebody could give them money, go and commit this crime, and they will do it because they actually need the money.
That's it. After all, throughout their life, all their life they have been struggling. So they didn't grow up in love. So you don't expect them to act like people that actually grew up in love, that knows morals, that knows the right thing to do. So they can use this book for any negative things, any negative acts in the country. And that so how do you expect the crime rates to reduce? How do you expect things to get better when this continues to happen day by day, every time? This is what we see. We are even talking about them in Abuja. What about if you see the high numbers of those people in the north? Like you feel for them. They are uncountable in the north. Like uncountable. There's nothing they don't eat. There is nothing they don't eat. And that is how they survive. And I ask myself, I believe these things are coming from people that marries up to four wives, five wives. And when they give birth to these plenty children, you could just send them away. To do what? To go and train themselves? Then to become something. What do you expect them to become in the future? Because no school for them, nothing, nothing. They just survive by begging. And you still continue to marry as many wives as you can. It's not making sense at all. It is not.
Hmm. Anyway, it's quite disturbing, and I really do hope that parents will take this to heart. Parents who I don't think, however, I saw a video yesterday, Mary, of a child, I think somewhere I don't know if it's in Lagos, where a child, a newborn baby was abandoned on the road, and this baby was just putting on the ground, not like in a basket or in a carton or something. This person just dropped the baby on the
Want
ground.
to survive now. For you to come and keep a baby in that place, you actually don't have intention of wanting the baby to survive. Just that some people feel like they cannot use their bare hand to kill a baby or to commit that kind of murder. So what they do, you just throw that baby anywhere. If he survives, fine. If he doesn't survive, fine. Anybody that keeps that baby in such situation actually didn't want the baby to survive. So that's just it. There are a lot of
I
things that
was so I felt so sad, so bad that a mother could actually do such a thing, dropping a child on the ground. Even me alone, normally up till now, since my childhood till now, I cannot walk barefooted at home. I have never done it. I must wear stockings. I must wear. I'm always with slippers.
yeah.
I can never in my house, whether in my parents' house, then in Abuja, you can never see me with, I don't walk barefooted. I wasn't, because it's usually cold. I'm allergic to cold. I don't like it. I don't like the dirt. And then you drop a child, a newborn child, on the ground, on express road where vehicles will be passing, the dust, the baby will be hailing dust, the ground will be cold and all that. And luckily, the child was not dead as at the time they saw the child. And some people actually were just shouting, and people gathered to carry the baby away. And so, if people are not, if people are not actually willing to have children, or to take care of children, rather, I don't see any reason why you should have a child, if you cannot take care of the child. You should
Later
be
you come and
arrested.
kill them anyway.
Yes,
Just come and
they should be arrested. You can't tell me that children are heritage. Heritage how? God did not bring, say, give birth to them to suffer them. God knows that these are children and they need care. So if you know you cannot care for a child, do not have a child. I've always said it since my childhood. If you know you cannot care for four children, you can only care for two or three, then have the numbers you can care for. We're not even talking about school fees these days. We're talking about feeding them alone is a problem.
It's a problem, a big problem. It's because they always do this, they get away with it. Sometimes if they're lucky enough, some motherless baby can actually just come and pick them up and start taking good care of them. But I feel like instead of dumping them on the road, there are other things that they do. Like you take these children to the motherless baby and they hand them over to them to take care of the child. Nobody will kill you for it. They accept because that is their job, that is what they do. But sometimes you hear that some babies are dumped, maybe in the waste bin on the road, just leave them and they walk away. That's the height of it. So you actually want that child to die. You don't want that child to survive. It means your entire life, you actually don't want to know the existence of that child. What if that child grows up? You won't even know them again because you actually had to throw that child away when the child was still very small. So how can you recognize that, okay, tomorrow this child is something? How can you recognize that this is my child? Sometimes it's even better you give them to the motherless baby. Tomorrow you can attest that, okay, this is my child. But just throwing them like that and walking away, you don't care. For crying out loud. Like your conscience will not even
I think
disturb
there
you.
should be a law, Mary. When you see me, so I know they do that one. No, I'm too. There should be a law. If you have I'm talking about both genders, because it takes two to actually have a child.
That's it.
And so I'm saying there should be a law. If the two of them are not capable, they should not have a child. And if you have a child you can't take care of, the person should be arrested immediately.
Yeah.
Because you cannot bring liability. These are the children that will be used later to perpetrate one evil or the other.
But when they go out to throw these babies, not at an hour that you will see them. Who have you ever seen that they actually caught them? You won't know. You just come in the morning and you see
That
this
is
child.
that is because the system is not working either. When you walk here in the streets of London, the streets and the buses everywhere, you have CCTVs working, operating 247. So
So you have
yes, I think this is quite disturbing. And then we have a story here as well that says uh this story here, I've always said Peter Obi, our dear Peter Obi. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what Peter Obi is up to. I don't know what's going on with our dear Peter Obi. But this story here says obedience movement belongs to no political party. Obi tells Labour Party. There's this confusion about the obedient movement, whether we actually is for Labour or is for Peter Obi or is for eligible Nigerians, youths. And so maybe that is what Peter Obi is trying to clarify here, that this obedient movement does not belong to uh, you know, political party. Maybe it's for Obi himself, or just maybe who knows? It might actually form a new party or join a new party, because we know that Labour, Abi the Obedient, they are trying to get another candidate. We saw that news before some time ago. And I know that the way Labour has been going back and forth, their internal the issues they have within. I don't think Nigerians will want to reckon with them come 2027, because they say a house that people that cannot put their houses in order, I don't think they can put the country in any shape as well. So
that.
let's not even go there. Let's not even disturb ourselves. And and I know that in as much as we don't want to keep pushing Peter Obi. I think Peter Obi is not doing what the youth Nigerians actually expected him to do. A lot of people actually expected Peter Obi to be, that one that will reckon with them, that will keep batching government, that will keep, doing, things he was supposed to be doing, bringing ideas how Tinubu can, shape the economy like what he did promise. He doesn't need to withhold them, whether or not, regardless if he's the president, he became the president or not. But a lot of people also lost faith when they started seeing him with Atiku,
The thing
joining
is,
hands.
not every youth that actually notice this one. Like this one you are saying right now, it's not every youth that notice it. They just know that they are supporting Peter Obi. So they're not seeing any faults in whatever he's doing. They still see him as one of their best. You understand? So it's just maybe people that actually uh listen to news, that actually read.
It's not about the news. Let me tell you something. Every youth have an Android, 80%, and these people see the news. It's not about people who watch the news. Nobody watch news these
Yes,
days.
they actually don't see it because most times I check most of their comments online. I feel like a lot of people don't see any fault in Peter Obi, even till now. They
And
don't
that's
see.
because it's the same thing when a lot of people feel like the senators are not doing anything, government has not done so well. And then the majority of Tinubu's fans are telling you that he has done so well. So it's the same thing. But we sincerely do hope that before, the next election, they would have put their houses in order. And of course, they would have, tried to resolve these internal issues they're having, as not to have issues with their party, or because I don't want to believe that I will carry my vote and go and give people that are confused. I won't do that if I am to be a voter, there. So I won't
That's
do that. It will be a total waste. And so you have to first of all make sure that these people you're voting for, their unity. Unity will stand, divided will fall. And also there's a story here as well, that I saw, apart from the obedience story and the main headlines here that we saw. Tougher decision ahead of reshape economy, says federal government. These decisions should not be decisions that will destroy, that will put Nigeria in more, Nigerians are already choking, man. I don't think we
I
need
just
it.
feel something anytime I see this. They'll be saying they want to reshape. That was how they came up with the whole fuel subsidy thing. And that is how they have kept us in this situation till now. They are not doing anything to better the situation of this country. Maybe what they are thinking, tougher decision might actually be what will affect the country negatively.
That is what I'm saying, that they should not bring
So
another
what
tougher. That word tougher is what I underlined. They should not bring another one that we actually destroy, you know, another one that we actually, help make Nigerians, put them in another tighter position than we already are now. It will not be a good thing. It will not
because
be a
that
good
people
thing
have
at
been coming up
all.
with, I've not seen any positive change so far. All the decisions they have been coming up with. You can imagine where the president will say new national anthem has been his priority. Like it's just so funny and annoying at the same time. I feel like all the structures that they bring for us, no one is even working to help us. You get, they're not doing anything to help us. So let this their tougher decision not even be another tough situation in this country that they will bring it here, and when people are crying they'll act like they are not seeing or they are not hearing. It is only when Nigerians are crying for help that they actually don't pay attention to it. They don't know that Nigerians are crying. But when you say something against them, they can fish you anywhere you are. You will know that they actually listen to news. You know that they actually hear what people are saying. But when you are talking about how to better the situation of the country, you will not see them taking any action at all. So that's actually so annoying. It's just very annoying, honestly.
All right, we have the spot now. Just before we go on the discussion and we end the show, we have here Nigeria versus South Africa. We have our plans. Finidi, bullish ahead of first retest against tricky South Africans. And also, don't forget that on the Vanguard Sport Dex, we also saw a story here that said Finidi, on Lashes, Ihena Cho, Lukman, Boniface on Bafana. Mary, what should we be expecting? South Africans again, I don't want us to ever meet those people. I feel like, I don't
Is it
know,
that
but when I hear South Africa, I begin to shiver. I don't know why.
South African plays more than Nigeria? If they did not line them up well, if they did not line our players well, because all these things start from the lineup. So I believe that is why I say, okay, let's just try Finidi. He knows the system, he knows the game. So I feel like it will be a different thing entirely this time around. Because if people don't give us a good lineup, there's no way you don't expect South Africa to defeat us. But if they actually put a good lineup for these people, know the people that will play for the first half and people that they'll change when the time to change actually when the need to change comes up, because there's something I noticed about our Nigerian match. They can use the same people till that 90 minutes, till that 95 minutes. They will not change. They will use the same people. You see a lot of people making changes for their players, making change because they know that maybe to some extent they are tired. But because they believe so much on this particular set of players, they will never make any change. They will leave them, even if they are suffering. You see that they are limpy, they are not running well, they are tired already. They actually calling for a change. You will not change them. So I believe, let's just say, or let's be positive about this new system, the new coach. Let's see if actually some changes will be made. It's not like, I can proudly say, not like South Africa can play more than Nigeria or even Ghana as well. It's because we have been having issues with our lineups, and that's the problem we have all this while.
I'm really hoping, oh, because when I hear Bafana Bafana, oh my goodness, I don't actually. But if it's another African team, there's this, okay, no problem.
But we
But
have been defeating South Africa before now. Is it because of this last one? We've been defeating them, even Ghana. Why did they call us Giants of Africa? We've been playing well. It's just that recently we just have issues. I don't know. The new Super Eagles set, like the new players, it's not even helping at all. It's not helping. So maybe I
But
feel
but
like
but but Mary, do you think with the people, we already Super Eagles won't look down on Bafana? That is coming from Basi. That is one of the stories we have on the headline there, the top page there. And here at shop, Boniface Lookman lead Eagles attack. Now, with what we're seeing so far, these people that will be the attackers, do you think that there is hope, or we should be expecting something, a very tough match, or just walk over?
to me there's hope. I feel like I'm very positive this time around. Like unlike before, I'm very positive about this new set you get. So let's be positive about it. Let's see the first match they'll play. That is where you begin to know if they're actually trying or not. I believe that from the first match you get to know, okay, this coach is actually making a good change for these people. If you see that the first lineup in that match is the same thing as the old ones, then you know that there's a problem. But if it's about talking about Nigerian player versus South Africa, South Africans they don't play better than Nigerians. Same with Ghana. I don't have that fear. You get, I don't have that fear at all. But let's see how it goes, Sha.
Anyway, we hope that, I'm praying, I'm hoping as well at the same time. But I've not seen a Osimhen, so I'm not happy. uh, I'm not happy. There's a story here that said Bafana focused on Eagles after 18 hours travel ordeal. When is supposed to be that match, Mary?
I really don't know. I don't know because they are just coming up. They've not really set it, but I'll make proper inquiries on it because I'd like to even watch their first match. I'd like to watch their
Under
first.
under under Finidi George, right?
Yes, yes. I like to watch them. It's just the preparation yet, but the date I don't know. But I believe before then I'll be able to know the first leg, their first leg. Let's see how it goes. I'm being positive though. I am.
We should be positive. Anyway, back to our issue of earlier, Mary. What do you think can be done? Because with these numbers of babies we have coming monthly, so let's say in 6 months it will be another country on its own, that place.
Honestly, like with a lot of kids that are not properly trained, because morals is very important. You bring up these children, you think in this life, people just give birth just for the children to eat and sleep, and what values do you think these children can add to the society? Are you bringing them to destroy the society, or you're bringing them to help reshape the situation of the society? And that is where you find these people that are actually sent out to go and beg. Because as long as you continue to have these issues of giving birth every day without a proper check, you get, without properly taking good care of them, before you know, they'll begin to even send some out of the IDP camps, send them to other states to go and beg. And as they grow up, they now inculcate this negative habit in them. And that is why we suffer in the society. That is why we have issues. So I feel like whoever, people that are actually looking out for those IDP camp people, you understand, should actually they are supposed to have like a law I don't know if there's no law in IDP camp. They're supposed to have like a structure. You don't just come here and give birth like that. I don't even know where they're getting these men from, because me, I'm still saying it. I'm not seeing like a husband and wife living in IDP camp. I see either the women in a different place. If you want to even see men, just few of them. So it's a wrong thing. Like anywhere you take me to, I'll say it's a wrong thing for allowing these people to give birth monthly. You understand? Giving birth with these huge numbers of children, and you know that people are actually fending for them. So it means maybe the people that actually take good care of them are not complaining. Maybe it's like a normal thing for
Do
them
you
because
think do you think this is a form of abuse, Mary? Let's because I want us to look at this from another angle. Do you think this
yes,
is a form of abuse? The girls are being abused because now they are there, they don't have their own say. Of course, we know that it's not everybody that have parents there. IDP insecurity would have claimed the lives of some of their parents, their families, so they don't have no one to speak for them. And also, we remember that there is the lawmaker, a certain lawmaker that wanted to marry 100 girls, orphan girls, and these are some of the issues now. Do you think they are being abused? Do you think these children, do they even have fathers?
me, if you ask me, I feel like they're being abused because just like I said, if you go there, you see a lot of women, you understand, actually struggling as well. So it might actually be that you know that when it comes to this sexual stuff, there are some men that don't have shame. You understand? They just want to take advantage of any kind of woman they see. They don't care how you look and whatever. So I feel like we should actually see that this might actually be coming from the part of abuse. They don't have the voice, they cannot speak out whatever they are passing through. You understand? And I'm not sure you can even go there and ask them questions. I'm not sure there is room for that. So if it could actually be that these men come there to take advantage of them and they just give birth. Because if it has to do with husband and wife, it cannot happen like this. For the fact that you are having like over 200 kids, then it is not normal. That is where you understand that it is not normal again. It actually boils down to the fact that these people, they are being abused, but they cannot speak out. That is it.
Well, it's shameful. It's I don't know. I lack the words to use. I feel very sad to know that young girls, abandoned girls, homeless girls, orphans as well, are being used like this. And Mary, what do you think will become of kids, these kids eventually?
Is
Let's
this
even talk about their welfare right now. Can these children be fed properly? Knowing fully well that children need special care, the weather, health care, proper feeding. We are not talking about they can see Gary and soak and drink, they can see bread and but little children actually need some kind of special food and all that. So what do you think, how do you think these children will be coping right now?
that you don't see them looking good? You don't see them look. If you go there, you see how they are not looking like people that like sometimes they look like people that are suffering from malnutrition. You understand? So whoever are these people that are taking advantage of them, I call it that they are just so wicked because you leave this for these women to actually suffer with. You get. So at the end of the day, let's be sincere, it is not all the kids that survive. They don't tell you the children that dies in the IDP camp because not all of them can survive this suffering or this kind of situation. So I feel like at the end of the day, these newborn babies, they will suffer because the normal food, that special food that we give to the newborn babies, they will not be able to take part in it. It is anything they see, they will give to them. Or let's just say they survive with breast milk. You understand? And when they get to a certain stage, maybe within a month, they start giving them normal food, which is not supposed to be so. So at the end of the day, these newborn babies, they will suffer a lot for what they don't know, for what they didn't cause. That's it.
Anyway, it's really shameful. I think for one that the management should be held responsible, like I said earlier opening the show, should be held responsible for this. There is no how, because I know that I've actually organized event before in Abuja, where I've been to Waru IDPs, me and my former boss. We took food there. We actually organized party for them, and we were there for like more than 5 hours. So I understand how these things work. You have to go through a certain management. There are people who manage the camps, and they live there as well with them. And so the one at area one is the same thing. So I think that these people, should be held responsible, should be questioned what is happening. And these girls, here, we should tend to look at their ages, we should tend to look, are they even okay, giving birth at this very early stage. And of course, these kids as well. Let's talk about their welfare, because it's one thing to even now feed them, the adult. Now we're adding children. Children will not know whether there is no economy is bad, there is no food.
They
Children
want you to
don't know that one. You have to provide at them, and they eat back to back, and they are supposed to stay in a one place. We know that IDP camps, the place is not properly covered, or let's talk about mosquito bites and all that. So it's really shameful. I don't know what we're supposed to describe, or the name we're supposed to call this, but I'm going to bring somebody from Benue to speak on this. We're going to bring a mother here as well. These are some of the issues I want us to really look at critically, uh so that we find the way forward, Mary.
yeah.
It's really shameful. I don't know, but these girls are supposed to be in school, these women are supposed to be doing business. I will keep telling people i will keep telling people, if you do not have the needs to have children, do not have the children. If you cannot take care of children,
I'm not sure they're in control of it. You see these women I'm seeing here, I'm not sure they're in total control of how they have these kids. It might actually be that they just have to do it because of where they are. Do they have a proper home? No. Most of them just sleep, maybe even outside. Not all of them will have a
don't
place.
be don't be surprised that some were even raped. They are rape victims,
So
abused.
that's it's not like they can control this childbirth of the thing. So are you going to tell people in IDP camp to do family planning? Do they have any business with that? What do you know
No,
about
no, no.
family?
Actually, I'm no, I'm actually of the opinion that that campaign should be taken there, especially to the married ones there. Family planning now, until you go back to your home, until you are back on your feet, please do not have kids here. Maybe that would be a way forward, Mary.
Yes, it will. It will help reshape these things because how can you tell me people that they are struggling to feed? They are now bringing in more children. Not one, not two, not three, not four. Like
Not
200 kids.
50, not 100.
You know what it means to feed 200 kids? Coupled with the ones they already had there that are struggling. It's not funny. We are saying these things. This is how it might be happening in other IDP camps. And it's really sad though. It is.
Anyway, that would be a good place to wrap up the show today. We urge mothers, we urge parents to think before they do things, and of course to always take care of their kids. Thank you so much for being on the show. Our analyst couldn't join us. She's actually on transit and she's stuck somewhere. She's driving and the traffic. I told her we can't do this from her car, so maybe tomorrow she's going to join us again. And please, while you are out there, don't forget to take care of yourself. Your security matters. Look out for yourself first. If you're being abused, please speak out. There must be somebody willing to help you. Don't, or keep it to yourself. Thank you so much for being on the show today. Subscribe to our social media handles. Subscribe to our YouTube. Leave us with a comment. We'd love to hear from you. And of course, subscribe to our Facebook, Instagram, and X as well. Do not forget our logistics in Abuja. Just Mary is there, she's seated, one call away and they will deliver. And also, shortlets everywhere we have in Lagos, in Abuja, and London as well. Is a home away from home. Nothing but premium, nothing but luxury, where you can do your businesses, your conferences, your parties, bridal shower, birthdays, and of course, you can even go there to shoot your movies, your music, and all that. And of course, you can even work from there and take your family there for holiday, the much needed holiday. That will be, we have everything in stock. There is a well furnished, equipped place. And of course, do not forget also that we'll have a free Wi Fi. We have cars to take you around to help you explore the city as well. And don't forget, our magazine is also out. Try and reach out to us to showcase your brand, your amazing self, your career, and what you have done in the past. You can, show them to the world. It's a way of you telling the world, showcasing yourself to the world. And I'm much talked about Nigerian Week London. It's exhausting, but we're getting there. I'm really exhausted right now. It's not easy, but we'll get there. And we hope that every one of us will put hand on deck. You can partner with us. You can sponsor your brand or anything. Sponsor, be part of the sponsors. All you have to do is to call us. You can still be in Nigeria, anywhere in the world, and of course, we showcase your brand and your product here for you. And this is a way of you reckoning with the world. The world is now a global village, and is a way, of course, appreciating our own for job well done. There's going to be the award ceremony, Nigerian film screening, film festival. We're going to have the Nigerian food show. In the streets of London, we're going to be having Nigerian amazing food where people come and eat the local, feel at home. And so these will talk about the real estate, we'll talk about agriculture. This will be some of the programs we'll be having. So please reach out to us, be part of it, and as you can be one of our sponsors as well. Thank you so much for being on the show today. And of course, while you are out there, uh, put a smile on the face of somebody today. Drive carefully, don't drink and drive, and obey the traffic laws. It's Friday, that thing that comes with Friday, especially when I was in Abuja, after work, you want to party, you want to unwind. While you are at that, please look out for yourself. Mary, before we go,
It's Friday. Please, you put to take good care of yourself. As you're partying, as you're enjoying, you need to always have it in mind that safety is important. We have a lot of insecurity issues already. I don't know how people enjoy night movement. I don't know how people enjoy working in the night, like freely without any fear. But personally, I don't fancy night movement. Please, let's actually take good care of ourselves because it's weekend. Yeah.
Mary na good girl, Mona no worry, na very good girl, homely girl. While I was in Abuja, anyway, I don't like night movement, but
I'm not even
even
a night movement something. I don't
I
fancy.
don't, I don't because I use glasses, so I find it difficult to drive at night. But sometimes I just go to the movies, and I only drive back home when the road is very free around 10, 11 from the movies, Genesis Cinema. I will just drive back home. Anyway, thank you so much, viewers, for being on the show today. Hopefully, tomorrow we do this again. And of course, while you are out there, remember that peace is priceless. So let's always give peace a chance. I remain yours truly, Princess Cassie. See you tomorrow.
Ooh la la! The second edition of the Nigerian Week London 2024 is here.
It's another blend of art and culture, entertainment, business, and networking activities.
A week-long extravaganza showcasing the best of Nigerian music, dance, craft, fashion, and businesses.
Taking place at the prestigious Lighthouse Theatre, 262 274 Camberwell Road, London, SE5. OAY. Date 22nd to 28 July 2024.
Tickets are available at everbright.com. For partnership and sponsorship, please visit superiorradioandtelevision.com
or call +4407 459 513 619 or +4420 3623 8755.
Email info@superiorradioandtelevision.com or visit our website www.superiorradioandtelevision.com/Nigerian Week 2024.
Come and experience a nation's culture that resides in the heart and in the soul of its people. Inspired by Onexmos LCC in collaboration with SRTV London, present
the Amasef Trade and Culture. Looking for a home away from home in Abuja? Look no further than SRTV Shortlet Apartments. Our fully furnished apartments offers everything you need for a comfortable and relaxing stay. Unwind in spacious rooms with exquisite ambience, cook delicious meals in our well-equipped kitchen, and relax in our comfortable sitting rooms watching your favorite shows. And guess what? 247 Wi-Fi. Looking for a home away from home in Abuja? Look no further than SRTV Shortlet Apartments. Our fully furnished apartments offers everything you need for a comfortable and relaxing stay. Unwind in spacious rooms with exquisite ambience, cook delicious meals in our well-equipped kitchen, and relax in our comfortable sitting rooms watching your favorite shows. And guess what? 247 Wi-Fi available. But that's not all. SRTV goes extra mile by providing a car to take you around town during your stay. No need to worry about navigating public transportation or hailing taxis. Explore Abuja at your own pace.